Hello, today I'm gonna show you how to set up for a landing in Flight Simulator X. So we're using the default 737-800 in this I guess you can say tutorial video. So first, what you want to do is lower your flaps to 25 degrees or whatever you feel comfortable, because you'll be flying fairly slow the whole time, right around 200 knots for the time being. So you can start lowering them, and you will see it go down in that gauge in the center of the console of this. Let me zoom in on it real quick so you can see it a little bit better. So yep, now you can kind of see it. That's the gauge that tells you how many degrees of flaps, not notches. Well, it kind of shows you notches, but it's mainly for degrees. So I prefer to use this outside view when I take off and land, except for this because I need to know how fast I'm going. So I'm going to go into the cockpit view here, and you're going to watch and wait and see when it gets up to 200 knots. Once it reaches 200 knots, you are going to press Y, which will enter you into slew mode. For all the other commands in slew mode, what you're going to want to do is, well, that's a fire truck there, a little random. Anyway, what you're going to want to do is go into help and stuff. I'll kind of show you that later, but for now, what you're going to want to do, since I'm reaching 200, press Y, and now you're going to, for me, it's pull back on my joystick to go backwards, forwards, and then like left and right. There is like tilting my joystick left or right, and then to go like this and that. That's twisting my joystick, but the keyboard controls I do not know off the top of my head. But I know you can look that up if you just have the menu bar over top by clicking hide menu bar, and then you'd be able to find it. So you just have to click hide menu bar, then keyboard assignments under help, and then you can just type in slew, and that'll give you all the information on how to slew in which direction, which I do not know. The only keyboard assignment I do know is up and down, so you're going to go up like this by pressing Q, and to go down would be Z. So you can go up by pressing Q, and then you can counter it back to 0 with Z, or you can just press Control Space, which will automatically level you out and point you north, as I will demonstrate here in a second once I get a little farther back. And when you do that, it'll just center you, so you don't have to worry right there. So now you didn't have to worry about making sure you weren't accidentally going down a little bit and you didn't mean to be, but you can just automatically by pressing Z as many times as you press Q will make you stop going up, or vice versa for going down. And so now you just want to pull it back to however long you want your approach to be for this. Since you're starting at 200 knots, it doesn't have to be terribly long. You're kind of setting up for your final approach. You don't have to worry about downwind, crosswind, like upwind, and like base. You're just worrying about final. Now I used Shift 7, as you just saw, to open up that main glass cockpit display, so you can see the glass cockpit, and you can see like how high you are and how fast you're going. Now when I pressed Y, as you just saw, got me out of slew mode, and I was going a little bit fast because it was still accelerating from when I was in slew mode. So I just used my speed brakes. As you can see, it was going as fast as I was when I entered slew mode. So now I'm going about 190, 200 knots, which is kind of what I want for this distance. And when you pressed Y, you did want it to be 2 red and 2 white, because that's your perfect glide slope. Fortunately, I'm not good at keeping this, and I prefer a lower approach, so as you'll see, I'm going to have it more 2 red and 2 red, which is signaling that I'm low. If it were 2 white and 2 white, that would be I'm too high. So now since you're all lined up, you can just put down your flaps at your discretion to 30 and 45 degrees. I normally like to land around 160, 170 knots when I'm really close. Sometimes I land closer to 140. It all depends, but 130 is your stall speed, so you don't want to go too terribly close to that. But when you have full flaps, you can go as slow as 140 safely. So as you can see, I'm just lining myself up with the runway here and making it so landing will be as smooth as possible. And one tip for making landing smoother is you want to rotate your nose upwards or flare right before you touch down, which will bleed off all excess speed and make for the smoothest landing possible. You'll also deploy your speed brakes. I don't know what button that is on the keyboard because I'm using a joystick. And you'll want to apply full reverse thrust, at least I do. Or you can use brakes, but I prefer to use less brakes and just apply reverse thrust, which is page down. Press and hold page down. So you can see I'm coming in. I'm having a fairly slow touchdown speed of 140 knots. So as you can see, I'm going to flare right now. And a smooth touchdown with speed brakes going up and my reverse thrust is happening. And so that's how you can practice to land a plane in FSX. So that is again not IFR. So if you want to learn how to IFR approach, you can do that by watching like another video, or maybe in the future I'll make a video on that. That is just how to practice manual landings in FSX. Thank you for watching. Please comment if you have any suggestions on how to make my channel better, because obviously I'm a horrible YouTuber, and that's why I suck at videos, and this video probably sucks. So if you watched it all the way, good for you.